Hey everyone, don't forget to hit subscribe and get ready for a deep dive that's, well, it's got it all really, celebrity politics and a whole lot of drama. We're talking Nicky Jam Donald Trump and a controversy that's got the internet buzzing.
It's wild, right? It's a fascinating case study in just how quickly things can change in the world of politics and public opinion.
You got that right. We've got articles here detailing Nicky Jam's initial endorsement of Trump, the backlash that followed, and then his very public withdrawal of support. So to set the scene, let's rewind back to September when Nicky Jam shows up at a Trump rally in Las Vegas,
Oh, yeah.
rocking a MAGA hat and tells Trump, "We need you to be the president." Now, this wasn't just any endorsement.
No, Nicky Jam has a massive following, especially in the Latino community, so his support for Trump was a huge deal.
Exactly.
Mm.
And it immediately ignited a firestorm.
Mm.
Fans were outraged, and even MAGA, the legendary Mexican rock band, pulled their collaboration with Nicky Jam from streaming services. Yeah. It seemed like things couldn't get any more intense. But then enter comedian Tony Hinchcliffe at Trump's Madison Square Garden rally.
Oof. Yeah, this is where things take a sharp turn. During his set, Hinchcliffe makes a deeply offensive joke calling Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. And he didn't stop there. He went on to make several other racially charged comments targeting Latinos.
Yeah, not exactly a laughing matter. But why did this particular joke cause such a massive uproar?
Well, you have to understand the complex history of Puerto Rico's relationship with the United States. There are deep-seated sensitivities surrounding the island's economic struggles and its treatment by the U.S. government.
I see.
So Hinchcliffe's joke really tapped into those existing tensions and was seen by many as deeply disrespectful.
And it seems like Nicky Jam felt that disrespect too. He completely backtracked on his Trump endorsement and released this emotional video on Instagram. He's clearly shaken by Hinchcliffe's joke, saying, "Never in my life did I think that a month later a comedian would come to criticize my country and speak badly about my country. Puerto Rico deserves a respect."
It's powerful stuff, and it's interesting to note that Jam's initial reasoning for endorsing Trump centered around economics. He believed Trump's business experience would benefit Latinos and immigrants facing financial hardship. But after Hinchcliffe's joke, his focus shifted dramatically.
It wasn't about dollars and cents anymore. It was about pride, respect, and cultural identity. And that shift really highlights the power of cultural identity, especially when it comes to something as personal as your homeland.
Absolutely. This wasn't just a political disagreement. It was a personal affront that forced Nicky Jam to reevaluate his priorities and his stance.
And his decision to withdraw his support sent shockwaves through the Latino community and the political landscape. But Nicky Jam wasn't alone in his condemnation.
No, he wasn't. We saw a wave of criticism from other high-profile figures like Bad Bunny, Ricky Martin, Louis Fonsi, and Jennifer Lopez. And it wasn't just limited to the entertainment world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, even some prominent Republicans like Angel Sintram, the chairman of the Republican Party of Puerto Rico, and Geraldo Rivera criticized Trump and Hinchcliffe.
Wow, so this really transcended political lines.
It did. The condemnation was widespread, reflecting the severity of the offense and highlighting the importance of cultural sensitivity even in the heat of a political campaign. So we have a major shift in Nicky Jam's stance, widespread condemnation, and a whole lot of tension surrounding cultural sensitivity in politics. But before we jump into the fallout and the broader implications, so we left off with Nicky Jam retracting his endorsement and this huge wave of criticism coming from all sides. It really puts the Trump campaign in a tough spot. How did they handle the fallout?
Well, they tried to do some damage control, distancing themselves from Hinchcliffe's garbage joke
Right.
and claiming it didn't reflect Trump's views, but it felt like a classic non-apology apology.
Totally. And it's interesting that they never addressed any of the other offensive comments Hinchcliffe made. They completely sidestepped that issue.
Huh.
Trump even claimed he didn't hear those parts of the comedian's routine.
Come on. That's hard to believe given the size and energy of that rally. It seemed like they were trying to sweep the whole thing under the rug. But let's circle back to Nicky Jam for a second. We talked about how his initial endorsement was rooted in economics, the idea that Trump's business acumen would somehow trickle down and benefit Latinos and immigrants. Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Sure. In his Instagram video, Jam explained that he genuinely believed that supporting Trump will be the best thing for the economy. He saw Trump's background as a businessman and thought that experience would translate into policies that would help people who were struggling financially.
So it was a pragmatic decision based on his perception of potential economic gains.
Huh.
But then Hinchcliffe's joke completely changed the equation. It wasn't just about economic anxieties anymore.
Exactly. That shift from economic pragmatism to cultural identity is really at the heart of the story. For Nicky Jam, and likely for many others who felt similarly, the insult to his culture, to his people, overshadowed any potential economic benefit.
It makes you wonder how many others might be grappling with that same tension between economic concerns and cultural identity, especially in the context of a presidential election.
It's a crucial question, and the situation really underscores the complexity of those decisions. It also throws a spotlight on the responsibility that comes with celebrity endorsements, especially when you're dealing with a diverse audience in a politically charged atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Celebrities wield a lot of influence, and their endorsements can carry a lot of weight, especially among younger voters. But this incident shows how quickly those endorsements can backfire when they clash with cultural values and sensitivities.
Yeah, it's a cautionary tale for both celebrities and the political campaigns that court them. This whole saga demonstrates how critical it is to be mindful of diverse viewpoints and to understand the potential consequences of overlooking cultural nuances, even in the context of a political rally.
It's a stark reminder that words have power, and even a single joke can have far-reaching consequences,
Yeah.
especially in today's hyper-connected world.
And it goes beyond just celebrities. This situation raises questions for all of us about how we engage in political discourse and how we weigh competing priorities when making political choices.
It's a reminder that politics, culture, and identity are deeply intertwined, and those connections have real-world consequences. We can't ignore those connections, and we can't afford to be complacent. So what can we learn from this whole Nicky Jam, Trump, and Hinchcliffe saga? What are the big takeaways?
Well, I think one of the biggest takeaways is that cultural identity can be a powerful force, especially when it comes to political decision-making.
Absolutely.
Huh.
In this case, we saw how an offensive joke, a seemingly isolated incident, ignited a much larger conversation
Right.
about respect, representation, and the importance of acknowledging cultural sensitivities. It challenged the assumption that economic anxieties always trump other concerns when people are making choices in the voting booth. Yeah, it really highlights the complexity of those choices and reminds us that we can't simply reduce individuals or entire communities down to a single issue. It's about seeing the whole picture, understanding the nuances, and recognizing the power of cultural identity.
It is. And this incident also serves as a cautionary tale about the use of humor. Especially when it comes to sensitive topics, we have to be mindful of the impact our words can have, even if they're intended as a joke.
Yeah.
What might seem harmless to one person can be deeply offensive to another, and those unintended consequences can have a ripple effect.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that there's a fine line between humor and disrespect, and crossing that line can have serious repercussions, particularly in a politically charged environment. And speaking of repercussions, this whole situation really puts a spotlight on the potential pitfalls of celebrity endorsements.
Right. Celebrity endorsements can be a powerful tool for political campaigns,
For sure.
but they also come with risks. When a celebrity aligns themselves with a candidate or a cause, they're essentially putting their own reputation on the line.
And as we've seen in this case, that reputation can be tarnished pretty quickly if the candidate or the campaign does something that clashes with celebrities' values or alienates their fan base. It's a high-stakes game, and it requires careful consideration from both sides.
Definitely. This incident really underscores the need for both celebrities and political campaigns to think critically about the messages they're sending and the potential consequences of those messages.
Yeah.
It's about being aware of the nuances, understanding your audience, and recognizing that words have power.
It's been a wild ride unpacking this story from the initial endorsement to the swift announcement and all the drama in between. We've talked about celebrity influence, cultural sensitivity, and the power of a single joke to shift the landscape. But as we wrap up, I want to leave you with the question to ponder. How much weight do celebrity endorsements hold for you personally when you're considering political candidates or issues?
It's a question worth asking ourselves. Do we allow these endorsements to sway our opinions? Or do we approach them with a critical eye, understanding that there's always more to the story?
Food for thought. And remember, you don't have to just listen to us talk about it. Jump into the comment section and let us know your thoughts. We want to hear from you. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the stories that matter. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep the conversation going.